I'm making an updated Harpy Lady deck profile just because I had gotten rid of the deck a while ago and finally managed to get everything I needed to build the deck. And Harpy Lady is just one of those decks that I really like, even though it may not be that great. But it can do some things that I think are actually pretty funny. And I'll just go ahead and start the video. So for the monsters, I play one copy of Harpy Oracle. All the Harpy monsters in this deck, minus the original Harpy Lady and Harpy's pet dragon, Fearsome Fireblast, share the effect that their names become Harpy Lady while they're on the field or in the graveyard. And then Harpy Oracle can be special summoned if you control a level 5 or higher Harpy monster. And then you can activate its effect on its summon, so that during the end phase you can add a spell or trap that mentions Harpy Lady's sisters from your graveyard to your hand. Which I will go over what spells and traps those are when I get to them. And I believe you can only use each effect of Harpy Oracle once per turn. You can only use each of these effects once per turn. And that's the only reason I play one, because it is very much searchable in this deck, so you don't need to play any more than one. Next, I play 3 copies of Harpy Lady. I'm playing the normal Harpy Lady just because it lets you play Unexpected Die, which becomes a extender / a starter. Next, I play 3 copies of Harpy Channeler. Harpy Channeler has the once per turn effect of you can discard a Harpy card from your hand to special summon a Harpy monster from your deck in defense position. And if you have a dragon in play, then it becomes level 7. Which, yeah, for the next monster, it's actually pretty good to have it be level 7, which is 3 copies of Harpy Perfumer. Harpy Perfumer has the effect that when it is normal or special summoned once per turn, you can add a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that mentions Harpy Lady's sisters. So Elegant Egotist is the main one you would grab. And then I don't remember if it has an effect after that. No, you try it. And then its other part of that effect is if you control level 5 or higher Harpy monster, you can add 2 with different names. And you can only use that effect of Harpy Perfumer once per turn. And then next, I play 2 copies of Harpy Harpist. The main effect of Harpist that you care about is that during the end phase, if it's in the graveyard because it was sent there, then you can activate its effect to then be able to add any Harpy monster from your deck to your hand, as long as it has... Wait. You can add level 4 lower winged beasts with 1500 or less attack. Which, that is usually sent off of the effect of Fearsome Fireblast. I also play 2 copies of Harpy Queen. Harpy Queen lets you discard it to then be able to add Harpy's Hunting Ground from your deck to your hand. And then next, I play 3 copies of Harpy's Pet Dragon, Fearsome Fireblast. Fearsome Fireblast has the effect that if you control a level 6 or lower wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then if it's sent to the graveyard, you can then activate its effect to send a level 4 lower Harpy monster from your deck to graveyard, usually being Harpist. And you can use each effect of Harpy's Pet Dragon, Fearsome Fireblast once per turn. And finally, for the monsters, I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This just lets you prevent or negate any card effect that would add from deck to hand, send from deck to grave, or summon from deck. For these spells, I play 1 copy of Harpy's Hunting Ground. This increases the attack of all winged beast monsters by 200. And when a Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady's sisters is normal or special summoned, then you have the mandatory effect to target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. The main thing I like to pair Harpy's Hunting Ground with is one of the trap cards, which I'll mention which one it is when I get to it, even though it should be self-explanatory. And then next I play 1 copy of Alluring Mirror Split. Alluring Mirror Split has the effect that once per turn, if your Harpy monster is destroyed, you can special summon another Harpy monster from your deck that that has a different name from that one. But I believe it has to be destroyed by battle. Yes. And then if Alluring Mirror Split is destroyed by an opponent's card, then you can special summon a Harpie monster from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of Alluring Mirror Split once per turn. The only downside is cards that has to be destroyed by an opponent's card effect, so you can't just have Harpie's Hunting Ground, target Mirror Split, destroy it, and then get a Harpie back from grave. Unfortunately, that does not work since Mirror Split specifically says your opponent has to destroy it. And then next, I play 1 copy of Harpie's Feather Duster, just because it's at 1. Honestly, if Feather Duster was at 3, I would be playing 3 of it, just because, well, I can't see Harpie Lady being played without 3 Feather Duster if it's ever at 3. Anyway, next I play 2 copies of Unexpected Die. I would play 3, but I can't find my 3rd. Unexpected Die just lets you special summon a Harpie Lady from your deck if you have no monsters in play. Which normally what you do is you activate this, and then from your extra deck you will link off the Harpie Lady for this monster, which I'll explain later. Then you can normal summon Channeler, make it level 7, discard a Harpie card, special summon Perfumer, and then get Elegant Egotist and one of the other spells I'm actually about to go over from your deck to your hand. Which next I play 2 copies of Harpie's Feather Rest. Harpie's Feather Rest lets you target 3 Harpie Lady monsters from your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and draw 1 card. Or if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can draw 2 cards instead. And then the only other downside of this card is after it resolves, you can't special summon monsters except for wind. So if you're going to use this, you'll want to make sure you aren't going to be summoning any non-wind monsters after you would resolve it. Next, I play 3 copies of Elegant Egotist. Elegant Egotist just lets you special summon a Harpie Lady from your deck if you control a Harpie Lady. And then I also play 3 copies of Hysteric Sign. Hysteric Sign has 2 effects where you can only use 1 of the 2 effects per turn. Where, if it's activated, you can add Elegant Egotist from your deck to your hand. Or if it's during the end phase in which it's been destroyed, however, you can add 3 Harpie cards with different names from your deck to your hand. Usually you're using that effect. And if I remember how it's worded specifically, let's see. Okay. That effect begins with during the end phase if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there from hand or field that turn, then you can add 3 different Harpie cards. Which actually works with one of the Link monsters in the extra deck, which I'll talk about when I get to it. For the traps, I play 2 copies of Hysteric Party. Hysteric Party lets you discard 1 card to special summon as many copies of Harpie Lady from your graveyard as possible. However, if Hysteric Party is destroyed, then so are the monsters summoned. Next, I play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just because it's another monster negate. One thing I actually thought about doing was instead of playing Infinite Impermanence was meaning Droll and Lockbird, just because it happens to be a good hand trap at the moment. But I figured Infinite Impermanence would be better overall, just because you can target a monster, negate its effects. If it was set, it negates all spells and traps in its column. Or you can activate it from your hand if you control no cards. And then next, I play 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance. This is the trap I was talking about that I actually like pairing with Harpie's Hunting Ground, as it makes it so that you and your opponent have to set spells and traps before they can activate. So you can use that effect. So your opponent has to set all their spell cards, and then to use them on the next turn, you'll have to... Well, their spells have to make it to the next turn, which, if you can just keep summoning Harpie monsters, Hunting Ground will just take out all their spells and traps. The other thing is that you can also use Hunting Ground to destroy Anti-Spell if it's in your way, which is honestly kind of dirty. Speaking of dirty, the last card I play in the deck is 3 copies of Harpie's Featherstorm. Featherstorm can only be activated while you control a Wind Winged Beast monster, or you can activate it from your hand if you control a Harpie Lady. Was it Harpy Monster? Let's see. Okay, so if you control a Harpy Monster, you can activate it from your hand. But Harpy's Featherstorm just has the effect that you can activate it, and then all your opponent's activated monster effects for the turn are negated. And if it's set for some reason and gets destroyed, you can add Harpy's Feather Duster from your deck to your hand. Or my bad, you add it from deck or graveyard to your hand. But usually you'd rather use it to negate all your opponent's activated monster effects for a turn. And that is it for the main deck. I believe the main deck is currently at 44 cards. The only cards I could think of to take out to try to make it 40 would have been hand traps. Which I don't know how I feel about that yet, so for now it's just a 44 card deck. And the extra deck is another thing that I'm still not entirely determined on, as I still want to add things like IP Masquerena, Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax, maybe even Access Killed. But starting with monsters, I play one copy of Imduck, the World Chalice Dragon. This is just in here because it requires a normal monster for a Link 1 material. And it's a dragon, so like I mentioned earlier, you activate Unexpected Die, summon Harpy Lady. Link off Harpy Lady for Imduck, normal Chandler. Because Imduck's in play, Chandler's level 7. Chandler discards a Harpy card, summons Perfumer, and then Perfumer can add Luring Mirror Split, Elegant Egotist, or Harpy's Feather Rest from deck to hand. Any two of those. And you can use Elegant Egotist, summon a Harpy Lady from deck, make a Cyber Slash Harpy Lady, and then from there you can make any Link 2 using Imduck and the Harpy Chandler. Next, I play 2 copies of Link Spider. Link Spider is just in here in case you see a hand of like 2 or more Harpy Lady. Or because of the last monster we're going to go over in the extra deck. But Link Spider just has the effect that once per turn you can special summon a normal monster to a main monster, or to a zone that Link Spider points to. And the next I play 1 copy of Barricade Board Blocker, 1 SP Little Knight. Barricade Board Blocker is in here because it has the effect that while it's on the field, your opponent cannot destroy your face-up, spells, or once per turn, face-up spell cards you control cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. That's the other, but the main thing is on summon, you can activate its effect, discard a card, so during the end phase you can add a continuous spell or a field spell from your graveyard to your hand. Usually what you're discarding with Barricade Board Blocker would be a Hysteric Sign, which will trigger its effect in the end phase. And then SP Little Knight has the effect if it's Link summoned using a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, then you can target 1 card your opponent controls and banish it. And then when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can then activate SP Little Knight's effect to banish 2 monsters on the field, with at least 1 being a monster you control until the end phase. And then to finish off the Link monsters, I play 2 copies of Harpy Conductor. I'll probably take out a Harpy Conductor for an IP Masquerena, and then probably one of the rank 7s in the deck for Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax. But Harpy Conductor, like all the other Harpy monsters, is treated as Harpy Lady while it's on the field or in the graveyard. And then if a Harpy monster you control be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy a spell or trap card on your field instead. And I forget what the other effect is. So if another Harpy monster you control is returned to the hand, except during the damage step, you can target a special monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. If you really want to use that effect of Conductor, then you can play the 1 copy of... Let's see, where did I put that? It should be over here somewhere. Let's see, should be right... Okay, you can play the 1 copy of Harpy Dancer. as Harpy Dancer has the effect of it can return itself to the hand to then let you special summon a Harpy monster from your hand. Next, for the extra deck, I play 2 copies of Cyber / Harpy Lady. Cyber / Harpy Lady can be synchro summoned by using any Harpy Lady as a tuner. And then its other effect is once per turn when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, you can target one monster your opponent controls. I think that's just one monster on the field. Let's see. When a spell trap card's effect is activated, except in damage step, target one monster your opponent controls or a Harpy monster you control, return it to the hand. And you can only use that effect of Cyber / Harpy Lady once per turn. I just like it because Cyber / is a walking compulsory evacuation device. And then for the Xyz monsters, I play 1 copy of Ice Beast Zero Fine. Zero Fine has the effect it can detach material, negate the effects of all other face-up cards in the field, and then it gains 200 attack per card, or is it card on the field, or I can't remember. This card gains 300 attack for each face-up card currently on the field, except for itself. Which, Zero Fine's just in here because, depending on situation, Zero Fine can get really big for no reason. And then I also play 1 copy of Harpy's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Phantasmal Dragon has the effect that while it has material, Harpy monsters you control cannot be targeted for attacks, nor can they be targeted by card effects. And then it can attack directly. However, during the end phase, or standby? During your end phase, it has to detach 1 material, and it requires 3 level 4 wind monsters. But like I said, though, it can attack directly. Your Harpy monsters cannot be targeted for attacks or by card effects. So it's actually pretty good. Honestly, if I made it frequently enough, then I probably would have even thought about playing Xyz Reborn in the extra deck just to bring it back from the graveyard. And I just realized I said play Xyz Reborn in the extra deck. I meant the main deck. It's a trap card that brings back an Xyz monster and then attaches itself to that Xyz monster. And then I play 1 copy of Tornado Dragon. Tornado Dragon's one of the cards I was thinking about taking out for more Link monsters. But I figure Tornado Dragon does fit the theme of the Harpy deck as it's a walking mystical space typhoon by detaching a material. And then next I play 2 copies of number 11 Big Eye. Big Eye is another card I thought about taking out for more Links, as Big Eye has the effect of it can detach material, target 1 monster your opponent controls and take control of it. However, Big Eye cannot attack the turn this effect is used. And then the last card in the extra deck is 1 copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack. Dracosack has the effect that it can detach material, summon 2 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens, and then once per turn contribute a token to then destroy. I believe it targets a card your opponent controls and destroys it. But Dracosack is the reason that Link Spider's in the extra deck. As you summon this, summon the 2 tokens, link off a token for Link Spider, link off the other token for Link Spider, and then you can make an SP Little Knight, which is honestly the reason I like it. Or you can even just make 1 Link Spider and tribute the other token, destroy a card your opponent controls, and then make a Little Knight with Dracosack and the Link Spider, and then banish a card your opponent controls. But anyway, that is it for my Harpy deck profile. If you have any ideas what I can do to improve the deck, ideas of decks I'd like to see be made in the future, or decks I'd like to see face each other, feel free to comment down below, and thank you for watching.